Mediumship is traditionally seen as an activity of trance, and many people become mediums because they're hypnotized by it. It begins with the famous Mesmer. He mesmerized people.
Yes.
I know that Ralph Doobie, the first medium for cosmic awareness, he was hypnotized. He had cancer. They tried to do therapy on him and hypnotized himself. He got hypnotized by a psychologist for therapeutic purposes, but then unwittingly cosmic awareness came out. So you can see that hypnotizing is associated with being a trance person, a medium. Conscious mediumship would be a concept that would show up in the 60s because we weren't being hypnotized or able to be tranced into a cultural bias. So Dave Worcester shows up at that point and says, hey, this is a case of conscious mediumship. But we can only be in a position of poise when we observe the suspended judgment we're forced to be in, and that could be called a kind of conscious mediumship, because whatever you spoke, you're already aware of the effect of it, because there's no environment that can respond to it. But now, conscious mediumship is a fact for everyone, because you are imposing your hypnosis. So conscious mediumship was a state of unhypnotized. You could not be hypnotized, but you might be aware of certain levels that speech and earlier media could hypnotize people. So you do conscious mediumship, you do conscious trancing, and you might be the direction of the trance is going both ways, inner and outer. But now the mediumship, conscious mediumship, will be what they're trying to make the medium do. So when you make a YouTube, the Buzz Ghosted, he makes a YouTube, he wants the YouTube to show that the imagery and the YouTube itself knows is great. He wants to show the YouTube is conscious of what it's doing. So the new situation is, here's the right way. The new situation is trying to make the tiny little old media bodies conscious mediums.
I think the trope is it ekphrasis, where it's we show them as parodying themselves, making themselves aware of themselves.
Right. The put-on factor that you like to point out was going discovered in the 60s. The important put-on and how people start doing. See, that's where put-on comes in the 60s, because in the art world, they're intuiting that, hey, no matter what I do, it's put on, because nobody can be hypnotized by it, because there's subject to many shifts to be hypnotized. You can't hypnotize people anymore. Okay, but they were hypnotized by that tactile fluidity. They were hypnotized by the fact that they were in a situation where they couldn't be hypnotized. They didn't know why they couldn't be hypnotized anymore. And there was much yearning to get re-hypnotized. A lot of fundamentalisms in the world, or in sciences and everywhere, were attempts to jump back into the corporate skin and be part of a culture. You can see that much of the culture dynamic last 30 years is people trying to find a place to be part of, a community, trying to fit back in so they can say, okay, now I'm hypnotized and enjoy this community that I accept their hypnotism. So consciously, not being able to do that, then you only could be a conscious medium. You could never be an unconscious medium, which would be a trance victim of the bias of the culture. Yep. You couldn't be a zombie anymore. Now, that seems to clarify that point, meaning of conscious medium in the 60s. Now, you're allowing your medium to put it on itself. You don't have to be bothered with putting it on. You're letting all these tiny little echoes of previous magical bodies. Wilford Watson's term for different technological environments or technological cliches, they're magic bodies. You try to see them, you try to make your conscious, try to make your magic body appear to be a conscious medium. Now this is something I've never said before, and we couldn't say in parts 1 and 2. This article has helped us come to this point, to the absurd statement that, hey, I'm just trying to make my YouTube be a conscious medium, okay? Leave me out of it.
She's put on her office, I put you on by bearing my mind.
That is incredible. If I go on Charlie Rose's, no, I get Buzz Coates to go on Charlie Rose to explain his YouTube. And I tell Buzz, just keep telling them you're trying to get your YouTube to be a conscious medium. So that is beautiful, because that's assuming that the chip body's alive, and now it's a programmable body. Now your child.
Well, striptease, she puts on her office by taking off her clothes. I put you on by bearing my mind.